welcome to another travel vlog. We are going to be traveling from Arkansas to England today. Well, tonight we have a night flight. So we are on our way to the airport. We've had a hectic couple of hours of packing. I have done a separate packing video. If you're interested in that, that should be posted by the time this video posts. Now we've got about a 15-minute drive to the airport. If you're new here, my name is Hannah. I'm a single adoptive parent of 2 children. I have a 4-year-old boy and a 1-year-old girl, and I love to take them on adventures as much as possible. You can probably tell from my accent that I am from England, so we are going to be going to my hometown area in the Cotswolds. We're going to be spending about a week there, and then we are going to have a few days in London. So once we get to our local airport in Northwest Arkansas, we've probably got only about an hour and a half until our flight. We are running a little bit late today. I would describe myself as quite a laid-back traveller, but even I like to be at the airport 2 hours before my flight. So this is a little bit later than I like to leave, but it was entirely my fault leaving things too late and then deciding to do a packing video, and then we had to have lunch and do baths for the kids. Anyway, long story, I'm going off on a tangent, but we left late. Our first flight leaves at about 6 o'clock this evening, and that is a flight from Northwest Arkansas to Atlanta. That flight is usually about 2.5 hours, and then we have a little less than 2 hours at Atlanta Airport before we have our international flight from Atlanta to London Heathrow. We'll get to Heathrow at about noon tomorrow. So today's Sunday, we'll get to England Monday, late morning, early afternoon, and then we are renting a car and driving about 2.5 hours to the Cotswolds. We're staying in an Airbnb in a little village. In this vlog, I am gonna bring you along for our travel day to see what it looks like as a single parent taking 2 young children on multiple flights internationally. My children are fortunate enough to be quite well traveled already for their age. So my son has done about 30 flights so far in his young life, and my daughter has done about 20 flights. So far this year, we have been to Japan, Australia, Bali, and Thailand in one trip. Last month, we did a second trip that was just to Thailand, and we were there for a couple of weeks. I have done some separate videos for that trip that are already posted. That trip involved a 35-hour travel day with 3 flights. So I vlogged that travel day, and we've been home about a month, and now we have this trip to England. I'm very excited to take the kids to England. This will be their second time to England. We went there about the same time last year, and we did a similar thing. We stayed mostly in the Cotswolds, and then we did a day trip to London on the train. But this year we're going to stay in London overnight for a couple of nights. It's a nice drive to the airport through the countryside, so I enjoy the little drive out here. We've just eaten a sort of late lunch, early dinner, so I haven't packed any snacks for anybody. We will probably either grab a bite to eat or in Atlanta, and then we'll get some food on the plane. And then when we land tomorrow, I'm very excited to be able to go to all of my favorite shops, get coffees that I like. I mean, I like the coffee here too, but there's just something about going back to your hometown and having all of your home comforts, childhood favorite snacks and things like that. I'm really looking forward to. All right, so we are not far from the airport. Going to unload, get everybody inside. That's all for now. We made it to our local airport. The thing about our airport is it's really small. There are only 11 gates, and it's usually really quick to go through security. I don't think I've ever waited more than 5 minutes to go through security. So sometimes that consistency lures you into a false sense of security, which is why I have a tendency to leave a little bit late to get to the airport. But it was all fine. We parked the car and then checked in our checked suitcase. There was nobody in line we're flying Delta on this flight. There was nobody in line, and got through security just fine, and now we're hanging out at the gate. The kids have found somebody with a dog, and so they're chatting. Well, Jameson's chatting to the dog. Sophia is climbing around, and I'm happy that we're at the airport. Excited for this trip. Sometimes it just blows my mind that you get on a flight, go to sleep. Well, I don't often go to sleep, but you get on a flight and it's dark and you wake up and you're on the other side of the world in another country. So it never feels real. Okay, they're making lots of announcements here, so it's a little tricky to chat. I will update again when we get on the plane. Okay, we have made it onto our first flight. Flight is about half empty, so they were able to give Jameson actually has a whole row to himself, and me and Miss Sophia have got this set of 2 seats. We've had a bit of a role reversal on this flight. Usually Sophia is very quiet and content, and Jameson has lots of requests.
And we are in our descent into Atlanta. If you have any important reasons to get up.
But because we were sat by the window, Sophia wanted to look out and see all the lights, and she couldn't because she had to sit on my lap for takeoff.